Today I messed up fruit flies. So I've been dealing with crippling depression, struggling with basic hygiene, almost getting evicted because of missing so much work, hardly eating or drinking. The few dishes I did make dirty have been all over my kitchen. Fruit flies found me, they are everywhere. Hundreds. I am cripplingly afraid of bugs. Yesterday I did 1/4 or so of my dishes, hot water, bleach and soap, and then all into the dishwasher. Took my garbage out. I put some of the dishes into the oven thinking it would eliminate some of the places for them to go. What my mess up is not realizing the life cycle of bugs. My oven has thousands of fruit flies and tiny maggots. I wanted to cry, throw up, and then quit everything. I'm not suicidal, but I'm not exactly far away either. I don't know what to do. There's some plastic in the oven, so I can't just turn it on. And I have to leave for work in 30 minutes. I did most of the rest of the dishes and again into the dishwasher, but all the ones I realized trying to get the other dishes out of the oven are now going to be making babies in the sink where I couldn't finish. Today I messed up by combining all my hot sauces and putting it in my meal and fucking up my tongue. I ain't no masochist, but I started getting into spicy food a year ago and now they don't hit the same now. Yeah, I still taste it but don't feel it, you know? I got to spray to feel some heat again, so I combined all my available hot sauces while I was home alone: Texas Pete, Tabasco Sriracha, Tabasco pepper sauce and Zaxby's buffalo sauce. I mixed it up and took a small spoonful and was near tears and said that's some good shit, and put some into a sandwich and another and some leftovers. Not even 3 bites in and my tongue is dying. For the first time in my life I drank milk to counter the spice, and that was like the nectar of life. It felt like a hug on my tongue that I pushed away for round 2, and 3, and 6. It was a losing battle. I finally finished and went to wipe my mouth, and when I looked in the mirror my eyes were red and had tears and I have snot coming out of my nose. It felt like I was tearing off a bit of my tongue every bite. I thought my tongue was bleeding but it wasn't. Thankfully I could barely taste thanks to the milk. Today I messed up by saying the wrong thing when my wife was feeling vulnerable. All of you have been there, gentlemen. You know when you've done it. You didn't mean to. You really did not want to cause this situation. But here we are, right? Again. Because we are jackasses and need to press the brakes just a tiny bit before speaking. So here is what I did earlier this afternoon. My wife had time before work. I persuaded, she caved in, then, omitted, and then we are holding each other. My wife looks up at me, she asks, "What do you like about yourself?" In hindsight, it was very obvious she was feeling insecure at the moment. She was seeking validation. But she's not even remotely arrogant enough to ask me to do it, directly. I know her. She's a serious person. Stoic, almost. But she has a hidden soft side about her. That's the part of her that fell in love with me. Me, being the jackass, didn't pause just a moment to think about the question. I immediately said, "My crotch?" But I said it extremely, over the top, seductively, like this, "My craw-woo ouch?" Then I looked down at her and smirked. She had an extremely confused or concerned look on her face, so my immediate reaction was to try and cheer her up, so I wiggled my eyebrows at her. I killed the mood. She starts to quietly get ready for work. Took me a bit. I was putting the sheets into the wash, that's our routine, and then it dawned on me. She had been talking about not liking her belly, the last week. Because she thinks it sticks out a bit more. She had our son several months back. I can 100% guarantee you that it is not like that. She looks incredible. No exaggeration at all. But I realized my mistake. Finished turning on the washing machine, and found my wife in the bathroom. Let's skip these details, but she confirmed my guess that she wasn't feeling 100% sexy these days and was concerned that I was looking too good for her. I got to go into deep details about how she's the sexiest she's ever been in her entire life. And the instincts of me wanting to be by her side while we raise our son are things I cannot ignore. Anyway, I brought us back to 90%. It will take some time. I know lots of you have been there. Here's the periodic reminder to put the brakes on just a tiny bit before speaking. Today I messed up and relieved myself where I most definitely shouldn't have. I recently came back home to visit my parents after not seeing them for a year and a half, and everything was going very smooth and we're getting along fine. Fast forward to yesterday, I went out in the evening to have a fun night out and catch my city's fiery nightlife, so the evening passed and I went bar hopping and nightclub surfing. Got so wasted with booze to the point that I don't remember anything until I woke up the following morning in my bed. I noticed my parents not talking to me or avoiding my presence. I thought, I must have upset them cause I went out till early hours of the morning the night before, so I didn't think much of it. The day went by and everything started to seem normal again, so I was completely nonchalant about the whole thing. Today morning, woke up early like a good son, and had breakfast with the whole family. I noticed a winter coat in the laundry basket, which was brand new as I have brought it to my mom as a gift just days before. I asked her, "Did you wash it already? Was it dirty or something?" And to my absolute shock and disbelief, my mom looks at me, Pauses, smiles and says, "Do you really don't know what have you done?" I said, no." She says, "You came in out bedroom and peed on all the clothes that were hanging behind the door." I immediately froze and what felt like an eternity of silence passed. Got up and got the fuck out of there immediately and have not returned till now lol. Today I messed up by falling asleep after masturbating. This literally happened last night, and I'm 34, still processing the intense mixture of embarrassment and regret. A bit of context, my wife, 30, had a long day planned with her best friend, which meant I was going to have a few hours home alone. As much as I love my wife, we all need a little me time, right? The afternoon started innocently enough with me trying to catch up on some TV shows. Somehow I landed on a YouTube marathon of 2000s music videos. It was a trip down memory lane, and all was well until Shakira's Hips Don't Lie came on. It's an iconic song, and let's face it, Shakira is stunning. One video led to another, and before I knew it, I was diving deep into the sultry world of Shakira's dance moves. Well, one thing led to another, and the next thing I knew, I was jerking off and fully into it. Fast forward a few minutes, and I'm left with a mess on my stomach. I grabbed a tissue, cleaned up a little, but I was too lethargic to do a thorough job. I figured I'd lie down for a bit, relax, and then hop in the shower to wash off the remnants of my solo escapade. Big mistake. The fatigue hit harder than expected, and I drifted off to sleep, exposed and with evidence of my afternoon activities all too visible. Time passed, and the next thing I knew, I was jolted awake by a horrified gasp. To my absolute terror, standing at the foot of the couch were my wife and her friend, both staring at me in disbelief. They had decided to cut their outing short and, finding the front door unlocked, had come in to check on me. Not exactly the way I had planned to greet them. My cock was out, and I had visible dried cum on my stomach. Words cannot adequately capture the shade of red my face turned. My wife was a bizarre mix of disgust and amusement, while her friend looked like she wanted the ground to swallow her up. The air was thick with awkwardness. Once they left the room, I quickly cleaned up and jumped into the shower, wishing I could scrub away the shame along with the physical evidence. Dinner was a quiet affair, and while my wife has teased me a little about it, I think we're both keen to forget it ever happened. The thing is it's my wife's birthday in 2 weeks and all her friends will be over, so I made her promise not to share this story with anyone. It took me some time to convince her and she said she will try her best.